Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have a review of the P-Bandai exclusive or P-Bandai exclusive HG Gundam Heavyarms Custom. Now this arrived to me yesterday, so I decided to review it right away today. So yeah, this was announced some time ago. First of all, I would like to mention there won't be any comparisons with the original Heavyarms because I do not own the HG Heavyarms, because I was actually waiting for this specific version as well. Now, originally when they announced the original HG Heavyarms, I was kind of tempted to get one, but at the time I was kind of busy and there were a lot of other stuff for me to review. But once I got it, I was really tempted to recreate my first original build as a kid, because the no grade 1 to 144 scale HG Heavyarms, the no grade 1 to 144 scale Heavyarms kit was my first kit that I actually tried in terms of gunpla as a kid, and it didn't turn out great. It was a mess. The moment there were a lot of broken parts when I finished building it, but it was a good experience for me at the time. All right, so since I do not own the original kit, but still, I will try to pinpoint what the difference is, because a lot of people seems to not exactly know what the exact differences is between the original and the custom version. So I will try to explain that at the same time. All right, so as usual, let's go over components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Heavyarms Custom itself, and then hand-wise, I currently gave it the multi-purpose hands for left and right as well. And then for those who've seen the Wing series, at this point, a lot of people should have. The built-in weapons there are a lot of built-in weapons, starting from missile launchers, the chest machine gun slot, and then the combat knife itch going on that is on the right arm. So yeah, other than that, here are the other stuff that you should be getting. So number one, obviously one of the biggest difference between the original Heavyarms and then the Heavyarms Custom is the machine gun that is on its arm. So originally the Heavyarms would have one barrel, but now this has two spinning barrels at the same time. Yes, you can actually rotate these at the same time. Now, so because of this aspect, there is no longer that handle for the right arm. So there's no handle here, unlike the original Heavyarms. So, and then here we have this hole, which is actually meant for storing this onto the back. So which I will demonstrate later. Hand-wise, you still do get the fully open style hands like the original one, so no big deal over that. And then you get this small piece, which is actually used for storing the gun onto the back. And then here we have the sticker sheet. Now, as you can see, I try to minimize the amount of stickers as much as possible by coloring as many parts as possible. So I did use the original eye stickers and then head camera stickers as well. And then I did use the back skirt and the side skirt stickers for the black lines. But other than that, the chest compartment stickers and then all the vent holes, I colored it using a Gundam marker as well. These parts, which is on the knees and the foot, on the feet area, I did try to color them as well. And then the vents that are on the chest, I also try to color them as well. So I will try to point those parts out. Also, now since it's being a P-Bandai kit, there are some leftover parts, because obviously this uses the original Heavyarms kit, but there are also some changes in the parts. So number one, we do get some leftover parts from the B plate. So here we have B1 and B2. So let's look at the B2 small one. Obviously we have some leftover parts for the feet area. So these are feet. Now I believe this is not exactly meant for just the Heavyarms. It's just like a common piece for the other unit, the other 5 Gundam units as well, looking by looks of that part as well. And then here we have also the same parts around here, and then we have these parts, these hands. I'm going to assume that these are the hands that you use for the handle for the original Heavyarms. So, but since there is no more handle, there's no reason to use this. Or either that, these are meant for something else. All right. So other than that, that is pretty much it for the leftover pieces. Now let's go over the articulation. Since I never reviewed the original, let's see what we got. So let's start from the head, or as usual, the top section here. So the head definitely looking good. Definitely reminds me of my first original build of the no grade version. It was a mess for me as a kid, but still it was a good experience, as I mentioned before. So the head, obviously, other than the stickers, I did try to panel line the vents on the face as well. The front head sticker, obviously, oddly enough, it's actually a round sticker than your typical squarish sticker. Of course, the back one is your typical normal shape. But yeah, that was definitely an odd choice if you ask me. And then you can go down that much, and then up that much is no problem as well. Of course, holding or touching the head might feel a little bit awkward because of these side antennas. They're all over the place, so you're going to collide with them every time you move it. Oops, sorry about that. I accidentally touched the camera. Alright, other than that, let's see what we got for the main body. So the main body, as I mentioned before, these blue sections here on the chest are supposed to be stickers. Now once again, there's no way I'm going to use those. I tried to color them as cleanly as possible. So what I did is I actually slapped on some paint and then started scraping off the excess areas. And I think I did okay, but I might need to recolor the left side because I'm still seeing a little bit of missing areas as well. And then the chest vents right over here, these yellow sections are supposed to be stickers. I decided to color them using gold Gundam markers. Now, of course, I have to color the inside vents, but once again, because of these the gold paint going on here, it wasn't really allowing me to color on top of that. So I might need to scrape off the inside and then color the inside in black. But once again, luckily, the vents are, you can only see them on the bottom side. So when you look at the front, it looks pretty good on my standards. So that's that. And then for the heavy arms, obviously, you can open these sections up and reveal the chest machine guns. Definitely looking cool, if you ask me. And then what they did, compared to the old past ones with the no-grade versions, that back then these would be very sloppy and floppy around. So what they did is that they actually added these small pegs here and then a hole here so that they lock into place, so they are no longer like opening by themselves or all sloppy. So they fixed that issue as well. Same goes for on the shoulders. You can open these up and reveal some more missiles and also lock them into place using the peg and hole system. So definitely a lot of good stuff. A lot of improvements has been made from the old kit. And then let's see what we got for the main body. So that you do get a bit of an ab crunch going on here. Side to side is also possible. 360 is surprisingly actually possible if you are in an angle. So because of there is also this hinge system on the body, you are able to bend forward a little bit. So as long as the peg goes up. So that's that. And I'm trying to lock it back into place, but it's not really working that well. There we go. So when you actually lift it up, the back skirt will also go up together like that. So make sure if you want to make it go back, make sure you pull down the back skirt downward so that it locks into place. All right. Now the shoulders, they are on ball joints connected to polycaps on the inside, so you do get your typical forward and backward movement going on here. And since they are a ball joint, going 360 is also possible as well. Let me get backwards a little bit. And then the arm itself, you can go 360 on the arm itself, on the lower arm. And then bend-wise, you get a nice double jointed bend going on here. Hand-wise is your typical ball jointed hand. And for those who are curious, yes, in order to actually attach the machine gun, you actually have to take off the hand and then just plug it in there. It actually plugs in pretty well, just like the original. So yeah, so that's a pretty good, design if you ask me. I'm just going to leave the hand like that for now. And then on the other arm, pretty much the same thing, but the only difference is that there is a combat knife built in here. So once again, this comes in a original, just a pure gray piece. So I do actually have that chrome silver Gundam marker, so I try to color them as well. I might need to recolor this because it turned out a little bit sloppy this time. It worked out very well on my Getter Arc axes, or tomahawks, but this one didn't turn out that great, so I might need to recolor this as well. So yeah, the position on the combat knife might be a little bit awkward, but if you see the anime, it all makes sense to some degree. Yeah, just saying. All right, so we've seen the main body as well. Now let's look at the front skirt. Now the front skirts, you are technically able to divide them if you want to do so. I just left them as well. All these here are color separated as well. Now on the side skirts, you can see this black line here, and then on the back skirts, these black lines. These are all stickers. So I decided they're one single sticker piece, so I decided to use them. But they also give you stickers for the vents here on the bottom. I just decided to color them using a Gundam marker as well. So it turned out okay. Just wanted to point that out. The side skirts also move, and then the back skirt also slightly moves outwards like that. So you do have a little bit more of a range and freedom. So the legs also have a nice side swivel, but they are on the stiff side. Going to the side 90 degrees is not going to be possible because of the side skirts, but it's still there. And then you can go forward about 90 degrees, but between the front skirt and side skirt, because the front skirt is obviously going to block the way. And then backwards also pretty much almost 90 degrees as well, same reason. All right, so we've seen that, and then bend-wise, we get a nice bend going on here. We get a nice double-jointed bend going on here, so no big deal. And then obviously on the legs here, we also have these missile launchers you can open up. And these are actually just connected as pegs. However, the connection here is a little bit loose for my taste. So, I mean, it plugs in. It's not going to fall off right away, but it just feels loose. So it's not loose, but it feels loose. So I hope that makes sense. But other than that, yeah, it was pretty good. And then let's see, another sticker was that on the knee section here, you can see this gray section is also supposed to be a sticker. I decided to color that with a gray Gundam marker and then color the inside vents as well. This one, it actually turned out okay for the insides because the paint, I believe the paint ink is kind of similar, while the gold one is being a little bit different, so yeah. And then on the feet here, we have your typical ball jointed feet, so no big deal there. You have a nice toe bend on the back that goes downwards a little bit, and then these parts, this part turned out a little bit sloppy, but these circled areas on the ankle joints or ankle armor are supposed to be stickers as well. I just colored the inside with a silver Gundam marker as well, non-chrome or metallic, whatever you call it these days. So yeah, feet wise, you get a nice, very nice pivot joint going on. It can go forward and downwards like that, so no big deal as well. Alright, and then finally let's talk about the differences. So obviously, other than the obvious, like the double barrel machine gun, what are the main differences? So that, to the point where why would Bandai release a premium Bandai version of this specific variant? So number one, obviously, since they did release the original version in HD, there's no reason to release another one that not many people actually know the difference as a kid. People are so you have to understand that Bandai as a toy company, like the hobbyists, sure they're one of their main customers at the same time, but they also need to consider like regular people as well. If you put these two boxes together at a shop, they're gonna be confused and not know the difference. So obviously, which is why I think they decide to release this as a premium Bandai kit, based on my opinion and as a person who works in a toy company, not Bandai, in a different company, but still, I kind of understand that. Alright, so other than that, let's talk about the differences. So the difference is, number one, other than the machine gun, is the backpack. So originally the original Heavy Arms is not, as far as I know, is not capable of fighting in space. It cannot fight in space, but the custom is able to fight in space, and because of that aspect, they decided to modify the backpack. So the original backpack, as far as I know, would have 2 thrusters on the bottom only, but now the custom does actually have 4 thrusters on the back. So that is one of the main differences. And then the back skirt, I believe, and I might be wrong regarding the side skirts, but the back skirts now, I believe, is a different design here. The original back skirt. So let me see if the instruction manual actually shows me the original piece here. So let's see if I actually can find that part, if I can, please. Alright, so here we go. So here is the original manual. They actually just give you the original manual and give you a separate manual for the different pieces. So the back skirt here is just a square shape and no vents on the bottom section. You can see this one actually has vents on the bottom, so that is different as well. And I believe, okay, the side skirts are pretty much almost identical, so that's pretty much that. And here is the original backpack. You can see there's only 2 thrusters on the bottom, so yeah. So yeah, the Heavy Arms custom is now able to fight in space at the same time. And I believe in certain games they treat the Heavy Arms custom machine gun as a beam gatling gun sometimes, or I believe there are certain wikis that mention that these could be changed into beam rounds if he wanted to, but once again, that's not really shown in the anime as far as I know. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the kit. I'll be right back with the first demonstration and we'll see what else we can show. Okay, I'm back. So obviously, if anybody buys the Heavy Arms custom, I'm pretty sure you're willing to do this pose at least once. So basically, your burst fire of everything going on here, which is obviously possible and pretty simple. All you need to do is just open up all the hatches and then aim the gun as well. And then I just also pull out the blade as well. Although looking at this, it may give you the wrong idea, but still, yeah, I think the kit overall turned out very well. One thing I should mention is the limitations regarding the arms. So obviously it holds the gun with no problem. The only limitations I'm talking about is going to the side. It doesn't go to the side as much as possible when you look at it. So it goes less than 90 degrees. So when just the arm itself, it may not look like a big deal, but when it comes to the actual Gatling gun, yeah, it may feel a little bit limiting because obviously you can't go to the side, and obviously when you're trying to lift up the gun, you can't actually go up all the way. So you might need to either lift up the body or just work your way around like that. And also, Yeah, maybe I was confused with the Masquerade, but I always thought that this would come with the extra, beam saber hilt on the arm thing. But I believe that they did that with the Masquerade, so I might have been like confused with the Masquerade at the time. But still, yeah, very satisfied with this. And then since show you guys all the basic actual weapons, there's only one thing left to show, so I'll be right back with that. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the final part. So obviously the one thing left to show is the holding the machine gun onto the backpack. So I believe this is the correct direction that you're supposed to attach. But if you want to, you can technically attach it, since there are holes on each side, you can actually technically use that adapter onto the other side and then make the gun barrel go downwards. So it's really up to you, but I believe this is the way how the instruction manual actually shows you. So that's the way how I'm showing it at the moment. So yeah. And that's pretty much it. So it actually, despite how the peg is very short, but it actually works pretty well. It holds it very well, and there's no balance issues despite how the situation is. So my overall thought was that I actually really enjoyed building this kit, and also did bring a lot of memories regarding my first build. So yeah, I highly recommend this specific premium Bandai variant, but also I also recommend, that means that I also technically recommend the original HG Heavyarms as well. So both kits, either way, can't go wrong. Of course, for beginners, it may feel a little bit sticker heavy, but once again, if you can color, then obviously you're gonna have no problems at the same time. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HG Heavyarms Custom. Obviously, I think Bandai is going to be working on the other custom units as well, like the Altron Gundam or the Death Size as well. So we'll be eventually seeing those eventually, and I might get those as well if they actually do happen. And then hopefully we get the Endless Waltz version in the HG format as well. Anyway, if you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.